Hey guys, Bobgar and Melissa here, and we just completed the first week worth of the $10 Gauntlet. We played the first 4 matches, so the top half of the bracket. We're probably not going to do one next week because Melissa has a ride.
I got a big horse show to go to.
Yeah, a big horse show, and so we're going to miss next week. The week after, we'll try to do the bottom half of the bracket, so the next 4 matches. And I wanted to have a quick little closing thoughts on this week and talk about how the matches went, our predictions for potentially the whole gauntlet and also the next week, and we can talk about which decks we're going to play next week and things like that.
Okay.
So, I guess I'll start with you. How did you feel about the matchups this week?
They seem fine. I like humans, and I liked the knights, and everything else was eh.
Did any of the results surprise you?
I thought the life gain, I don't know what it's called.
Yeah,
the green-white life gain one. I thought that was gonna win.
That one is pretty good. I thought it might too, but then when I thought about it, I do think Thopter Sword combo has a lot of good tools to deal with it. And in fact, it actually has the potential to go pretty deep in the tournament, I think, if only because the thing I think it does well against is almost these aggro decks that don't have trampoline ways to break through, because it has the sweeper, and then it also has the ability to put out a lot of 1/1s.
Yeah.
And all the decks do have graveyard hate, but they don't have a lot. They usually have 2 to 3 slots of it. Or 2 to 3 slots of artifact enchantment hate, and they're not like the super hardcore ones that totally shut it down because those are expensive. So it has a chance to do okay. I think it just ended up lifelink aggro was a turn too slow. That was a weird one because I think we both punted in that last game. I even put a note in the last game in text where I obviously punted and I should have used Oblivion Ring to get rid of a Thopter token. But I think you also had Time Sieve in hand and didn't realize you just had the infinite combo online.
I didn't know that was an infinite combo. I thought it was tap and sacrifice because I didn't read the card. I was like, they wouldn't make something that good.
Yeah, it's uncommon
like,
too. It's not even a rare.
Yeah, you know when you read something and your brain goes, no, that can't be right.
Yeah, no.
That's what happened to me.
Well, almost all those take another turn cards are sacrifice. Sometimes
Yeah.
they're even exile. Like a lot of times you exile the card when you do it.
Yeah, that's why it was, your brain reads it and goes, no, and then it just like re-edits it in your head.
I think the matchups went pretty much the way I thought. The only one that surprised me, the 2 I thought would be the closest were the 2 which probably were the closest, which was the life gain versus Thopters and the humans versus elves. And I probably would have given the edge to elves, but humans is also super, super strong, so it didn't surprise me.
Humans is best deck. That's what I want to win.
Is that your top choice for winning the whole thing?
Out of the ones that I played, I like that one the most.
Yeah, I think that one has a pretty good shot. That would be up there for me. I actually might like Knights more than it, but it's hard because if it gets the token thing going, it can be pretty powerful.
Knights is just more specific types of human.
Yeah,
they almost feel the same.
But it has First Strike and Hero of Bladehold, so
yeah.
There you go. And then, so next week, we'll go through each of those matchups. I guess I'll talk a little bit about them. I don't know how much you know them, so I don't know how much you'll be able to talk about them. And then we'll talk about which deck we'll play.
I can't really read from that far away.
So the first matchup is Red-Green Land Destruction versus Angel Reanimator. This is kind of the 2 seed versus the 15 seed, I think. Red-Green Lane Destruction somehow in my original matches went 4-1, which seems crazy to me, but that's what it did. So it gave it a high seed. A lot of the top seeds are actually decks that I would not have thought would have done well, but they just happened to go 4-1. So that's one of those, and then Angel Reanimator was one of the 1-4s. So
I'll play that one.
You'll play Angel Reanimator?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I figured you would probably play Angel Reanimator. If I had to guess, I would say Red-Green Land Destruction will win this matchup. Not because I actually think it's that good a deck. I mean, I think it probably is. I mean, it's fine. It's probably in the 3-2 realm with these other guys. But I think the big thing is Angel Reanimator really needs to get to 4 lands to go off. And if lands are being destroyed, it's going to have a lot of trouble getting to 4 lands, is my prediction. So that's how I think that matchup will go. But it could certainly go either way. It doesn't take much for Angel Reanimator to go off. And if it does, just literally wins the game on the spot.
It says Angels and Reanimator in it.
Yeah, I know. It's your kind of deck,
yeah.
For sure.
That's the sole reason why I'm picking it. I have no idea what's in it. I'll figure that out when I get there.
It's the combo with Angel of Glory's Rise.
Oh, so it got a bunch of humans
in it?
Yeah,
it's a ton of humans.
I love it already.
It's a ton of humans, Angel of Glory's Rise, a bunch of dredge. So you just dredge all your humans into your graveyard, reanimate the angel, and then it has an infinite combo you do.
Yeah, that sounds risky.
It is risky.
Yeah.
And it takes till turn 4 to go off is the problem. So turn 4, I mean, the things that that are going to be good against the land destruction deck are things like the humans and the knights deck, which are fortunately for it on the other side of the bracket, but there's some other aggro decks on the bottom side. But anything that's like super fast and aggro is going to have a lot of trouble with the land destruction deck. And then the next matchup is See the Unwritten versus Kiki Jiki combo. So do you know See the Unwritten?
It's green.
Yep, that's the green card that lets you look at the top 6 and put 2 into play. Is it 6 or 8? Maybe it's 8. I could be wrong. It doesn't really matter. It lets you look at a bunch of cards and put 2 of them into play. As long as you have a creature with 4 or greater power on the battlefield. Otherwise, it only gives you 1 card, but the deck pretty much always has 4 or greater power. So that's the kind of what that deck was built around. But yeah, it's a mono green ramp deck basically, versus a blue red combo deck. I'm suspecting you want the blue red combo side.
Normally I would, but I don't really like the way Magic Online works compared to in person. So I feel like See the Unwritten would be less obnoxious to play online.
Okay, you can do that one if you want. I will say that the Kiki Jiki combo, as soon as you get it, I would concede. Okay. You wouldn't have to like click through it or anything. It's not like the Thopter Sword combo.
Yeah, that was obnoxious.
Because, well, the problem with the Thopter Sword combo is it's not a hard combo where it's like, oh, you get the combo out, then you win. Whereas the Kiki Jiki one is pretty much, if you get Kiki Jiki out and one of the like 8 combo pieces in the deck at the same time, you make infinite guys and you win.
Yeah.
So you might be better off. You might be better on that one than you were on the other one. It might not feel quite as bad.
It doesn't matter. I'll do either one. It doesn't really matter. It's just like the Thopter Sword combo was neat, but I feel like it'd be more fun to play in person than online. I thought online it was a little obnoxious.
This is the 7 seed against the 10 seed. I think it'll be pretty close. If I had to give a nod to one, I think I would give it to See the Unwritten just because Kiki Jiki combo can be a little slow, but it does have some pretty good tools to stop See the Unwritten. It can kill some of the mana elves or counter some of them with mana leak and what is it? Is it instant thing charm? You can counter and kill some stuff. Stay in the game pretty well. So I think that'll be pretty close. Yeah, well, whatever. I guess we'll decide next time which one you play.
It doesn't really matter to me.
I was assuming you'd be on Kiki Jiki because you hate green and
I don't like green, but if
See the Unwritten is one of my favorite decks, so I was hoping.
Okay, then you can play See the Unwritten. I'll play Kiki Jiki.
I like the Kiki Jiki deck a lot too. I really don't care. I'll play.
No, you said it was one of your favorites. You play that one.
Okay. And then red deck wins versus mono black vampires.
I want to be vampires.
I know.
I like tribal just a little too much.
Red deck wins was another one of the 4-1s, and that one you do kind of expect to be 4-1 just because it's so simple and straightforward and powerful. So that one definitely could win the matchup. It feels somewhat likely, but at the same time, Vampires, even though it only went 2-3, I think is a very strong deck too, and it has pretty good game against the red deck wins deck in that it has a bunch of lifelink creatures. I mean, not a huge number, but you know,
I feel like
6, I think.
Vampires has the problem where it's like they're almost really good, but they're always lacking just a little something.
Well, like I think the big problem I outlined with it, which I still think is a big problem for Vampires in general, is they don't have that many good 1-drops, which means their tribal deck is slower. I mean, the big lord that really gives it a lot of power is Vampire Nocturnus, and he's a 4-drop, and he kind of forces you to be in mono black when Vampires really want to be in black red. So especially, I mean, for a non-budget deck, you could probably swing the triple black and be black red. But
just
for a
do
budget,
a really tiny splash of red or something.
Yeah, but for a budget deck, you just can't do it. Well, you can just run a ton of dual lands if you're doing like a non-budget deck.
Because I like Vampires a lot, but they do have a little bit of a problem. I have a kind of Vampires deck. It's not really, but they just happen to be a lot of Vampires
that one
in
works
it.
pretty well, though. I like that deck.
Yeah.
That one's definitely not a $10 deck, though.
No.
It has random expensive things in it.
Yeah. But I do like Vampires, so I'll play Vampires.
And then the last one is Mono White Death and Taxes versus Living End.
I'll play Death and Taxes.
Yep, that's kind of what I figured you would do, just because it's kind of in your wheelhouse of white knights and white-blue humans, and it's kind of slightly less aggressive and more tricky, but it's still the same kind of white weenie strategy as those.
Yeah, and I have a feeling I probably won't like that one quite as much as like some of the others.
Yep.
But it's fine. I'll know most of the cards in it already going in, so.
I mean, I think I would give the nod to Living End there, although I think it's going to be close. This is not an updated Living End build or anything. I didn't shove in the new Amonkhet cards. I've been playing these as I played them originally before Amonkhet came out. So it might not be as powerful as it could have been. It definitely is going to have some problems with Thalia, the Guardian of Thraben, slowing it down by a turn. And that might just...
Might be just enough.
Yeah, it might be just enough. If she comes out, it stops the combo for a turn or so. And I guess even it runs the 1/1 flying familiar dude, Judge's Familiar.
Oh yeah.
And that slows the combo down by a turn. So for decks that really need to resolve one instant and sorcery, the Taxes deck could be pretty good. So I definitely don't think it's definitely Living End. Living End feels good against a creature deck in general, but this is probably the worst creature deck for it to go against because it has the ability to...
Well, it's also going to have me playing Death and Taxes, which means I'm not super good at control decks, so...
Well, Death and Taxes isn't really control. It's kind of like a mix between aggro and... It's kind of a tempo deck almost.
Yeah.
It's like you have a bunch of aggressive creatures that also try to screw over your opponent. So I will say the problem with Death and Taxes in a $10 deck kind of thing is what makes Death and Taxes really strong is how good it is against top tier decks. It has a lot of things that are like, you can't search your library, which matters a lot if you have fetch lands, but none of our decks have fetch lands.
Right.
So I think it's at a slight disadvantage compared to where it normally would be, compared to its like 3-2 record that it had in terms of the
it's
entire
mono
gauntlet.
white. Oh, I was thinking it was blue. White. Okay,
Nope.
no, I understand now. Okay.
It's just mono white. It has a little bit of blue and green in it from some
split cards.
split cards, yeah, but it's just mono white.
I don't know why I was thinking it was blue white.
A lot of times, Death and Taxes is white green or white black, but
Make it white black.
that's the best. The best versions I think are I don't know. Mono white did really well recently, and white green is pretty powerful
white
too.
White black is the best color
But
combo.
I think I like white black the best. But the problem is, obviously the lanes make it much higher budget, especially to do it well, and a lot of the things that would make that good, we can't afford. So I kept it as
We only have
mono white for
$10
now.
to spend, so
yeah, it makes it tricky. Anyway, so that's the bracket. Do you have a top favorite that you think will win the whole thing? Is it humans?
Humans.
You think humans are gonna go all the way?
I don't know if they're actually gonna win, but that's who I want to win.
Man, if I was picking favorites, I would pick See the Unwritten probably. Or maybe Land Destruction Reanimator, even though that already lost. But it still has a chance. It's in the losers bracket. You can still win the whole thing, theoretically. But yeah, I think that one has no chance. See the Unwritten has a slight chance.
I mean, it's probably going to be something like Red Deck Wins is probably going to win the whole thing just because of how straightforward it is.
Yeah, Red Deck Wins, I think, has a pretty good shot. I think the Knights deck has a pretty good shot, and so does the humans.
The Knights were really good.
I'd probably give the Knights a slight edge over the humans, but they're both very good. I might have, before this week, I might have said the Lifelink aggro one has a pretty good shot because I think it's really good against aggressive creature decks.
Yeah.
Which there are a lot of in the Gauntlet. I happen to play a lot of aggressive creature decks, and they're also one of the easier decks to make on a budget.
It's got that flip card that is just rough, man.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
That's rough.
I mean, it's just like against Knights or humans, it can just kind of like outlast them almost.
Yeah.
Fly over with Vault Scourge and just, can't be aggroed down as much because it has so much life gain. So yeah, I thought that one had a pretty good shot, but now that it's in the losers bracket, I probably wouldn't pick it as my favorite to win. But I mean, I think Thopter's Sword combo, after how well it did against the life game deck, I think has a pretty good shot of beating a lot of the creature decks. Some of them are slightly faster in the life gain deck though, so we'll see. It could just be that it gets run over by Knights before it can turn anything online. And it does have to have a pretty good draw. Like if it doesn't have its turn 4 sweeper, it's a little rough. If I had to pick an absolute favorite to win, man, I don't even know. It's so hard. CD is the one I want to win. Absolute favorite. I might actually pick, at this point I'd probably pick White Knights, but I think that's a little unfair because I think part of the reason I'm picking it is because it's already through to the second round, which gives it a leg up on any of the ones on the bottom side, right? But I think that deck is powerful enough, and it went 4-1 originally.
It's going to be humans versus White Knights.
I guess
only one can make it past.
I guess
it's going to be very sad.
I guess my thought is this. Of the decks that went 4-1, which I think there were 4 of, or there were 4 decks that went 4-1. Of those, I think the strongest or most likely to make it through the whole tournament are White Knights and Red Deck Wins, like the burn deck, basically.
Yeah.
I think Lane Destruction Reanimator and White Blue Flicker managed to get 4-1 based on flukes. I would love to see White Blue Flicker make it all the way, as much as Melissa hates that deck.
I didn't like it at all.
I love that deck. I think it's super fun. I would love to see it get super deep, but I think it's going to die to humans pretty badly. But we'll see. We did a couple practice matches against them because they weren't in the same thing. We were trying to teach you the decks, and it lost the first one, but it won the second one, so it definitely has the ability to win. All right. So, yeah, just wanted to have a quick video where we talked about stuff. I know I might edit some of this out because we've been talking for a while probably, but I think it was fun to talk about a little bit.
Sounds good to me.
Thank you for doing that, Melissa, and thank you guys at home for watching. Next week, I will probably have a normal $10 deck. I'm not sure which one I'm doing yet, but after that, we'll get back to the Gauntlet. All right, thank you guys for watching. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Hey guys, Bobgar here. I just really wanted to quickly say, if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like. If you enjoy my content in general and would like to see more of it, subscribe. I'll be coming out with more content in the future. And please leave me comments and let me know what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, both in terms of production and in terms of my play and my deck building and all that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys next time.